I received a phone call from a woman generally asking if we had locked up or transported a male party that evening. It's not uncommon that people call and say, hey, did you lock up so-and-so, or did you stop anybody? She said some version of he was out with friends, he didn't come home tonight, and his girlfriend's worried about him.
My friend's boyfriend did not come home last night. They were at Waterfall. And now she is calling me hysterical because she doesn't know where he is. You didn't touch anybody by the name of Joe. Did you?
John O'Keefe.
Yeah, he's about to come and will be on set. So.
Yeah, no, we didn't lock anybody up or anything like that. And where does he live?
He lives on Meadow.
He lives on Meadow, Pleasant. Okay, and so at home you said he covered?
Yeah, they were out having drinks, and then she left, and expected him to come home at some point, and he never did.
Yeah.
And so I said to her, my husband had been out with her earlier in life, but then he came home, and he had custody with me to let me go to their pastor.
Okay.
And so she's home with the connecting, and they're old enough to be home. It's just she's nervous because he never even happened.
Yeah.
So she's like, I feel like something happened. And I said, okay.
On January 29th, in the early morning hours, I want to take you all the way back to 1:30, 1:45 a.m. when you left 34 Fairview on the 29th. After you dropped off the girls, where did you and Matt McCabe go?
We came home.
After you got home, you indicated that you went upstairs, correct?
Correct.
After you went upstairs, you indicated that you got on the phone.
Correct.
On your cell phone, correct? After you got on your cell phone, you indicated that you started searching for stuff.
Correct.
So if there's GPS, that you've seen the forensic extraction or part of it, correct?
Which one are you referring to?
The forensic extraction of your phone.
I saw what you showed me yesterday from Celebrate.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
From Celebrate, part of it.
I saw, yeah, the phone calls, yes.
Okay. You're aware that that extraction shows that you got home after 2 a.m. or so that would be generally correct?
Correct.
The Celebrate extraction shows from your Apple Health data that you actually went up a set of stairs. That would be accurate, correct?
Accurate.
The Celebrate data shows that you actually logged into your phone, did a login, either Face ID or a passcode, opened up the phone. That would be accurate.
Correct.
The Celebrate data shows that you were engaging with an app called Safari to engage some Google searches, correct?
Yes.
That would be generally accurate as well, correct?
Yes.
So, after you opened up Safari, you indicated that you Google searched something about Ozone basketball. Is that right?
Yes.
That was sometime after 2 a.m., right?
Yes.
What was so important about Ozone basketball at 2 a.m. that it couldn't wait until the morning? Why did you search it then?
Well, first I was home, I was wide awake, and I had been texting about a basketball chat, and basketball was clearly on my mind. My daughter had been invited to join a team. I didn't know much about the team, so I just was like Googling to see, because the woman who had given my daughter the offer had wanted an answer.
So you say that basketball was on your mind, correct?
Yes.
Was there anything else on your mind in that early morning hour time frame?
Don't believe so.
Ms. McCabe, if you wanted to know, in general, how long it takes for a human being to pass away because of exposure to extreme temperatures, right? If you wanted to know the answer to that, what would you Google search? What phrase would you use?
I'm not sure. All I recall is what the defendant asked me to Google in the morning.
If you wanted to know, I'm asking a different question. if you personally wanted to know how long does it take for a person to die of exposure due to extreme temperatures, what would you put in? What phrase would you use?
Objection.
Sustained.
Well, we don't have to guess at the phrase that you would use if you wanted to know something about dying of hypothermia, do we? Because you actually Google searched it.
Objection.
Sustained. Ask that differently, please.
Did you, in fact, use a phrase to Google search how long it takes for someone to die of extreme temperatures?
I did in the morning at the request of your client.
Okay. And what phrase did you use?
I'm not sure.
Really?
Correct. I was
2.5 years of this, you don't know the phrase that you used?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
There's so many lies
Okay,
and
there's no
misconceptions
question.
on social media.
No question.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
Are you telling me you don't remember what Google search you put in?
Karen was screaming. My hands were shaking. And she was saying, Google hypothermia. How long does it take to die in the cold?
And what phrase did you put in your phone? I'm just asking you to say it.
Why don't you show me it?
You literally don't remember?
Again, she was screaming, Google hypothermia. How long does it take to die in the cold?
How about-
And I picked up my phone and I started Googling.
And you literally, to this day, right now, under oath, you're saying you don't remember that phrase that you used.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that at her
Do you remember it or do you not, Ms. McCabe? That's a simple question.
that morning, I don't remember specifically what I Googled, but I do know what you've put out to the social media.
I know it's a little bit small, Mr. Davis. You see this column?
Yes,
Third column from the, actually it's the fourth column from the left. One, some dates, some data, and then a Google search, correct?
correct.
What does that Google search say?
House long to die in cold.
Now, you indicate that you did that, you made that search at 6:23 a.m., correct?
Correct.
And then you indicated that you did it again thereafter at 6:24, correct?
Correct.
At 6:24, you misspelled the phrase and you spelled it as follows: how long TI die in CIKD, correct?
Correct.
You've indicated that these two searches were at 6:23 and 6:24 a.m., right?
I don't know if I gave exact times, but I said it was in the morning and Karen had asked me to do it.
And you claimed that you searched it because Karen was screaming at you and yelling at you. She said something like, how long does it take for a person to die of hypothermia? And you Google searched it at 6:23 and 6:24. Is that right?
Again, I'm not sure about the exact times. I just did it after Karen asked me to do it.
Ma'am, you're looking on your phone and you Googled how long to die in cold and how long to die in CIKD. Both of those. You Googled them, right?
I did, yes.
And this is someone that was a friend of yours, correct?
Yes, he was a dear friend.
Not just a friend, but a police officer who was laying, as far as you knew, dying in the snow. Is that right?
Yes.
You knew that you needed to get immediate medical attention, emergency medical attention to him as quickly as you possibly could. Is that right?
Yes.
You knew that minutes counted, right?
Yes.
You knew that seconds counted, correct?
Correct.
This man was grasping, as far as you knew, grasping and clinging to life at that moment. Is that right?
Yes.
No, please, for one, whatever to.
Yes, I'm trying to come to 34 years ago, we can't have the man tapped out in the snow.
You can't pull out, because you can't please know. You can't need to know, okay?
Yeah, no, I
Yes, the counselor said mine.
I'm just keep like 50 times down here, it's 15, okay?
Can you say mine, because we can't.
Okay. I'm going to watch it. I don't think mine is Harry.
911, what's your emergency?
He's coming down immediately and 34 years old, can't get out.
What's going on?
There's a guy on the truck in the snow.
In the snow, it's different.
Yes, 34 the Albert resident, yes, I just pulled up behind him.
Okay, 34.
34 you can't now, yes.
911 is not a alert emergency.
That's why you called 911, to get emergency personnel who are trained in CPR and life-saving measures to the scene, to the gentleman, to Mr. O'Keefe, as quickly as you possibly could, correct?
Yes.
You called 911 at about 6:03 and 35 seconds. Is that right? I don't expect you to know down to the second, but it was about a couple of minutes after 6.
Right after, yeah, we found him, yes.
And you're aware from the dash cam that Officer Seraph got there about 6:10, almost on the nose, right?
I didn't pay attention to the time.
You'll agree with me that there was about 6.5 minutes or so between the time you called 911 and the time Officer Seraph got there. Is that right?
If that's what the dash cam says, yes.
On that 911 call, you referred to John O'Keefe as a man passed out in the snow.
Yes.
How about saying a Boston police officer is unresponsive on the front lawn of another Boston police officer's house? How about that?
Yeah, it's going to get there.
Anybody that's friends with cops, anybody that has a brother-in-law that's a cop, that your dear friend who you love, John O'Keefe, police officer John O'Keefe, if you're a dear friend of a police officer and you have police in your family, you damn well know, lady, that if you call 911 and you say, I got a cop that's in trouble, I got a cop that was injured, I got a cop that's in an accident, 911 is going to step up. And the defense attorney Jackson doesn't say this, but he really puts
Yeah, he does say it. He does say it. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, let's let it go.
Name?
I just said a man because that was the most important identifying.
You didn't say John.
Eventually in the 911, I do say his name.
You didn't initially say O'Keefe, correct?
No, none of that matters. It was a man in the snow, and I
you
wanted
didn't say,
help there.
And you didn't say he's a Boston police officer or an off-duty police officer.
Again, a man needed help.
Yes or no? Did you
No,
say that?
I didn't.
Do you think that might, yes or no? Do you think that might have sped things up if they knew, if the 911 operator knew that this was a fallen officer, a fellow officer?
I think 911 comes to everyone equally. I don't think they would have.
Bullshit.
Do you think that might have been something important to relay to the 911 official?
That's a slap in the face to the O'Keefe family. And I feel sorry for them sitting there having to listen to this.
Listen. She's got family members that are in the Canton PD. She's got family members that were in Boston PD. She knows this. What she's saying is horseshit.
I can't even believe that she made that she responded like that.
How much time would it have taken you to say we got a down police officer?
2 seconds.
Give a description and say, my friend is in the snow. I was going to give them the information that I thought was the most important at the time.
Did you say his name?
I just said a man because that was the most important identifying.
You didn't say John.
Eventually in the 911, I do say his name.
On all of Fairview, the entire road between Chapman and Cedar Crest, can you think of any person on that road who might have had life-saving techniques trained into them? First responder, someone who knew how to deal with someone in distress, someone with high skill level training. Do you think of anyone on Fairview who had that kind of training?
Can I now or did I then? Which are you asking?
Did you then?
No, then my focus was on John O'Keefe.
Okay, let me narrow the focus. How about on the property? How about 34 Fairview? Could you think of anyone that was a first responder who would have life-saving training, life-saving technique training under his belt?
Yes, my brother-in-law, Brian Albert.
They asked you that question, correct?
Stop right there.
Conviction sustained.
Stop. Folks, did you see the eye movement of Jennifer McCabe towards the prosecutor? Every time she gets a tough question that she knows that she's going to have an issue with to answer, she will look at the prosecutor and to me, it's like a signal. Object. And you see it. You see it time come. Every time she looks, he objects. And Judge Bev, what does she do? Sustain. Objection. Sustained.
Yeah. Let's look at it in slow motion again when she looks to the prosecutor, the Commonwealth, to help her. Here, watch this.
We set up the interview, and the 10 minutes before we walked in the door, they asked you that question.
Look where she's looking.
Correct?
The objection sustained.
She looks, he objects, she sustains. Every report that dealt with an interview of Jennifer McCabe, from whatever police officer it was or trooper, is wrong. Didn't document what she said properly, right? Because she didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. She said, she questioned, do you think I hit him? Could I have hit him? She said it in those manners because in the grand jury, she testified to that in the grand jury. She never said in the grand jury, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. That said, okay, before you go testify, the prosecutor is going to bring you in a couple days before you testify, and he's going to sit you down and do what's called a trial prep. So she should have been given her grand jury minutes to read her testimony from the grand jury back at the first trial. She doesn't have anything. If she went to the grand jury defense, she should have been given that as well.
Yeah, agree.
To prepare herself. At the prep, the district attorney is going to give you the questions they're going to pose to you so that you can formulate your answers. They're not supposed to tell you how to answer the question.
And your sister didn't answer the phone, not once, but twice, correct?
Correct, she didn't answer the phone.
Did you think your sister might have been in peril? Did you think to go inside the house and check that they're okay?
I had no reason to think that they weren't okay.
You had no reason
She stumbled over her words. Did you see that?
Yeah, let it go, let it
to
go.
believe they weren't okay. A man was dead, dying on their lawn, and your sister got answering the phone, and nobody is coming out to the chaos of Karen Reed screaming on the front lawn. You didn't think there was some reason to believe they could have been in peril?
I didn't, because your client was screaming she hit him. She had a cracked taillight.
Oh, boy.
She was crying she hit him. I didn't, but my focus, can I finish, please?
You had solved the crime right then and there. You
Stop
solved
right
the
now,
case.
stop.
No, I didn't. I knew John never.
Okay, you heard what she said. Because I knew Karen had hit him with the car. And he said, you solved the crime right here. No, she knew that her family had beat him, whether it was on purpose or an accident, and that's why he's in front of their lawn right now. Okay? Unbelievable.
I was not worried at all because something happened on the front lawn that had nothing to do with anything inside that house.
You weren't worried about them at all because you knew what really happened, didn't you?
At that moment, I didn't know that he was hit by a vehicle and there was taillight found
You
next to him.
just said before that he was. You need to back it up a little bit because she says, no, that there was a car accident. When she just said, I knew there was a car accident. Okay? Because she knew they were going to pin it on Karen. Unsolicited, she says, because I knew, she said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, and John was never in the house. Now, tell me, folks, is that reasonable? What she just said, is what she said reasonable? Could that be a possibility of how things went down? So there's a lot of issues in this jurisdiction. Okay? And even if this trial doesn't, we don't get the outcome that should happen based upon the evidence or the lack thereof, this town, this prosecutor, that police agency, and all involved need to be investigated